Hi guys, your girl Tating. So a quick one. I've had about 3 people inboxing me about how to disclose to their partners, to their families, to their children about their HIV status. Partners, I can't really say because so I would assume that you guys would have just the general conversation as to how do you feel about HIV, what's your opinion, what's your input on it, and from there on you'll be able to, one thing will lead to the other. So 2 things I want to address: the family and the children. First of all, children, I don't think it's wise to even disclose your status to a child that is under 15, maybe even 18. I think what you can do, if your child is like over 10, you can have the conversation maybe as to what do they understand about HIV? Do they understand what it is? How do you get it? And such minor conversations, but make it very light. I remember my son went for circumcision 2-3 weeks back, and he says to me on our way back from one of the checkups, and he says, oh no, not from the checkup, from the day of the circumcision, on our way home, he says, they made us do an HIV test. I was so scared that what if I've got HIV? And I laughed. I'm like, why would you be scared? He's like, I don't know. I also don't know. I was just scared. I'm like, do you know what HIV is? And he's like, yeah, I think so. It's like something in your system that can kill you. I'm like, but you know how you get it. And he's like, when somebody has a cut and then I also have a cut and our blood gets mixed, and I'm like, okay, but you understand that you can't really die from HIV unless you're taking your medication. So I slightly on a child level take him through what HIV can be understood as a child, and not even get into the disclosure part because I feel like he's still young. Probably when we get to 18 and we'll have that discussion. But for a child, I would say have that child level conversation as to what HIV is and how one gets it to a child level. Don't go to sexual unless you guys have already started teaching about sex and stuff like that. And then once they are older, then you sit them down and make them understand what happened. Make them understand that this is not something that a person really can say have control over, but also making them understand the importance of using protection from the beginning when you meet a new person. So obviously that will then involve the sexual talks and all of that. Number 2, family. First of all, I would say it's not really important for you to disclose to family unless it's people that you really spend a lot of time with, and you need their support. With me, in my family, there's my 2 cousins that know. It's Lewu and Mantombi. Mantombi is a nurse, but apart from that, Lewu and Mantombi are my closest sisters. So we're not even cousins, we're sisters, So they are the first people that I told. Lewu was the first person that I told within the family, even before my mom. That's how close her and I are. Like we are twins, And then it was my mom. Even my mom, I just literally disclosed it as it is. Oh, just found out this. And she was like, okay, how, when, why? I'm like, I don't have answers. I don't even want to dig for answers. It has happened. I've started taking my meds. And with friends also, the first person that I told amongst my friends was Laverne, Prophet Laverne. And I think it was amongst all my friends, she was the easiest person to tell because of the close relationship, And then from there on, others found out, obviously, through the conversations around the divorce, why I'm divorcing and whatnot. I'm not saying the HIV was part of it, but it's part of the package, And so, in all honesty, it's not compulsory for you to disclose to your loved ones. But I would say that if you feel that you are battling to accept it by yourself and to live with it, find somebody that you trust, especially within the family or within the friends group or whoever, find somebody that you trust. I know a lot of people that have been living with the virus for years and nobody in their family knows, and they're living life, to the fullest. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not compulsory for you to disclose. Me personally, I went public and I disclosed because firstly, I needed support from my family and friends. I didn't really have an issue when I found out. It didn't really hit me that hard because I already knew a lot of people around me that were living with the virus and they are living their lives to the fullest. So it wasn't something scary for me to accept because I was already affected by it before I got infected. So I had already educated myself on it because there is somebody close to me, very close to me also, that was living with it, and I had to step up at some point in life to be there for the person, you know. So I was already affected by it before I was infected, so I already had enough knowledge about it. So that's why it didn't really bother me, because I was like, it's just one pill a day, life goes on. The only thing that I kept on reminding myself is that asking myself questions is not going to get me anywhere. Wanting closure is not going to get me anywhere, because at the end of the day, it's not going to take the virus away. It's not going to rewrite the story. So I have two options. It's either I let it depress me, or I use it as a stepping stone and as a point of reference for other people to say that, you know, it's possible for you to live with a virus and live a positive, healthy lifestyle, you know. And it's not like when you're walking in the street, you're written on the forehead that, okay, you are HIV positive or whatnot. And in all honesty, these days, or this season, or this year, in this era that we're living in, it's so much easier to live with a virus as compared to years back, where people had to take more than one pill and people were dying and whatnot. Now it's just one pill a day, so it's doable, you know. It's doable. Get guys. So I would honestly not say it's compulsory for you to disclose. When it comes to partners, you guys know where I stand upfront from day one. Let the person be able to make the decision for themselves as to do they want to stay or not. It's the same as when you get into a relationship with a person and they say they're not working. You're like, I mean, I am, so I need nothing as a being. Or a man says, I can't date a woman with a child. The same way with HIV. A person has a right to say, no, this is not for me. And I always say that you should not see it as rejection, but you should see it as a blessing, because dating somebody that is not comfortable with the virus, it's going to make you uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel like rejected, even though they are there, but they'll still feel like rejected. Because what happens if you guys get to a point where you are intimate and then the protection bursts? And then the person now starts panicking, like, oh, what if I'm sick? Hey, you know, these things happen, and you are now going to feel like, okay, but you're treating me different, and yet you knew. So sometimes rejection is also a good thing for us, in order for us not to find ourselves in a situation whereby, you know, we're feeling that kind of way. So yeah, disclose if you really feel the need to, but if you don't feel the need to, please don't put yourself under pressure. Don't say I want that thing and say that thing is disclosed, I also want to disclose. Also, disclosing coming with its own rejection. Trust me, there's a pulpit that I know that I cannot even be standing on because of my status, because of my divorce status. Like, so you will be rejected. You will be rejected by the church. You'll be rejected by family, by friends, by relationships. The dating sites don't even think about it, because, you know. So disclosing on its own, it comes with its own challenges of being rejected. So be ready. If you're not a strong person, I would say keep it to yourself, but not in relationships, because I would not say it's a good thing or a fair thing for you to be in a relationship with somebody and not disclose to them. Because eventually when they find out, they're going to feel betrayed, they're going to feel scared. So let the person decide from the beginning whether they want to be with you or not. But when it comes to children, please protect them. Try not to give them too much information, and when they are right, I think when you have a conversation, you will be able to tell with your child that, okay, this one is ready to, will be able to handle this, you know. I know my son is very smart and he handles things very well, but still I'm like, okay, there's certain conversations I will wait for him until he's around 16, 17, 18. Then I can say, well, boy, this is what's happening, 1, 2, 3, you know. But you prepare them bit by bit, lay the foundation with these small conversations as to how does one something happen, and how does one get 1, 2, 3, you know. You just lay the foundation. But I repeat, disclosure is not compulsory. Going public about your status is not compulsory. Some of us are just, my life has always been a living testimony. My life has always been an open book, sorry. So I've always used my life and the things that I go through for people to learn from it, whether it's depression, whether it's divorce, whether it's HIV, whether it's motherhood, everything that I found challenges with, I've always used it to my advantage for people to learn from it, and that has helped me not to be drowned by it. So that is part of why I disclose, or I'm very open about my life, so that you know, it's possible for you to live with the virus. It's possible for you to live after divorce. It's possible for you to live through everything, through depression, through everything that I've gone through. I've just done all of this so that you can know that it is possible. So yeah, I hope I've answered any questions that you might have. If there's anything that I have not addressed, please do not hesitate to send me a message. And if I get more than one question out related to that, then I will address it so that at least everybody gets to be informed. But stay healthy, get tested, take your meds, and live your life to the fullest. Love you guys.